A very warm welcome to this explainer. Okay, let's dive into this. Did you know your brain can process a complete image in literally 13 milliseconds? I mean, that is a staggering processing speed. Have you ever wondered why a single photograph can instantly flood your mind with vivid memories in a fraction of a second, while reading a simple page of text takes genuine, conscious effort to digest? Well, today, we're unpacking the fascinating evolutionary biology behind why our brains are fundamentally hardwired to process and prioritize images over words. It's kind of like a journey deep into our past to understand the very mechanics of how we think today.
So why exactly does your brain prioritize images over words? I want you to think about your own everyday frustrations for a second. How often have you walked right up to someone at a social event, instantly recognized their face from across the room, but completely blanked on their name when you went to introduce yourself? Yeah, it happens to all of us. You remember the image perfectly, the face, but the word, the name, is just entirely gone. What we're going to see today is that this isn't some glitch or flaw in your brain. It's actually a deeply ingrained, highly successful biological feature.
See, when our minds organize incoming data, images are highly prioritized, bumping them right to the absolute front of the line. Words, however, take a distinct secondary role. Now, in our modern world, we're obviously constantly bombarded with text, right? Emails, text messages, articles, reports. But our biological processing center still treats visual images as the ultimate VIPs of information. To figure out why there is such a massive structural gap in how we process these two completely different types of data, we really have to look backward.
Section 1. The evolutionary crucible, a matter of survival.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that today we casually think of visual memory as just a handy tool for studying for a final exam or recalling where we parked our car at the grocery store. But a deeper look at our evolutionary history completely reframes this. Visual memory isn't just a mental filing cabinet. It's a robust evolutionary system dedicated strictly to keeping early humans alive. It wasn't about convenience or casual learning. It was about literal life and death. The brain prioritized visuals because, for millions of years, visuals were the absolute primary data source for human survival.
Just picture our ancient hominid ancestors out on the Pleistocene savanna. Early human survival absolutely depended on making a split-second visual distinction. On one hand, recognizing a friend, which meant safety, cooperation, and community. On the other hand, identifying an enemy or a predator meant immediate, life-threatening danger. Long before complex written language or alphabets ever existed, you had to look at a figure or a face approaching in the distance through the tall grass and instantly know which category they fell into. A fraction of a second in identifying that visual cue could literally cost you your life.
Section 2. The mechanism, specialized facial recognition.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the absolute necessity to spot enemies or recognize allies didn't just give us generally good eyesight. The stakes were so incredibly high that it led directly to the development of specialized facial recognition systems. We didn't just get slightly better at seeing things over time, we literally evolved highly specialized neural pathways, like the fusiform face area, dedicated specifically and almost exclusively to reading faces and visual cues instantly.
Let's move to and see how this builds across human history. We start back in Era 1, with ancient human survival, where recognizing a visual threat was the ultimate daily priority. That immense environmental pressure forces Era 2, the development of these specialized facial recognition systems, the actual tangible biological hardware being coded into our DNA. And that leads us straight into Era 3, which is exactly how our memory operates today. It is a direct, unbroken biological chain from those dangerous ancient planes right to the physical structures sitting inside your head at this very moment.
Section 3. Present-day impact. Dominating your mind.
So the crucial point is that these ancient systems still completely dominate our memory today. Even though you aren't exactly scanning the horizon for rival tribes on your morning commute or while sitting at your office desk, those highly evolved visual and facial recognition systems haven't gone anywhere. They're still actively running the show. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it. Your brain is flawlessly equipped to spot a saber-toothed tiger hiding in the brush, but it completely struggles to remember a 2-sentence email from your boss or the password you literally just reset 5 minutes ago. That's because text is a highly recent synthetic invention in the grand scope of human history. Your brain is stubbornly and brilliantly prioritizing the exact same survival data it did millennia ago. So we really have to ask ourselves, how much of your modern life is actually dictated by ancient survival instincts? The next time you perfectly recall a stranger's face but instantly forget a name you just read off a name tag, don't be frustrated. Remember, that's not a failure of your memory. That is millions of years of evolutionary success working perfectly right there in your mind. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep feeding your brain with great visuals, and I'll catch you next time.